And I wanted to also go over the different types of provisioning scenarios for SSO. And just like the last slide where it was, email invites, the most common is manually. You go create the user somewhere as a department head or a IT administrator, the user gets an invite, and someone has to go delete that user for offboarding. There are going to be per user fees charged, I'm assuming, in most applications. So, that process of decommissioning those users does become an added challenge. Now, while SAML is great for single sign-on and seamless access, it actually doesn't provide too much for us in provisioning and deprovisioning. I can count on probably implementing 200 different SAML single sign-on apps, only 5 that do auto provisioning on first sign-on. Most apps, it's an explicit setting that essentially says, hey, any apps from your identity provider, or sorry, any users from your identity provider, if they don't have an account, create them. And if so, what role or permission should we give them? Most apps, you still have to go manually back, create an invite, send it to the user. They might have to accept, but their actually login process can happen from SAML. So do understand the difference between provisioning and single sign-on when you're thinking of SAML. So again, when I say SAML add, that means that the app is looking at the assertion and we're passing over not only the email address, but maybe the first name, last name, title, department, phone number that the app supports. We can't just send everything over. The app has to have code to receive and process that. So if the app supports that, we can do that and it will auto provision the app. But it does nothing really for us to deprovision the app. So while the single sign-on happens continually and the first time they logged on, it got provisioned, disabling their account in Azure AD is not gonna do anything with that user account on that third-party web application. So what you have to do is still the manual process of offboarding the user to recover those per user fees. So the ideal situation here, and Azure AD does support this, so obviously it's up to the app vendors, and there's probably about 35 that I know of right now that support it, probably about 15 that are common among most organizations. So it's not overly common, but it is the one and only standard that we're really seeing for provisioning for web apps. And so, with this, not only does the user get created when they're assigned the group and or the application, so they don't have to wait for the first time that they actually sign in like SAML add. They're actually created when they're added to the group, and a certain amount of propagation and sync time happens, normally less than an hour. So that user would be in the directory of that application, even though that they would never have logged on. And same thing when they're removed from that group and or deleted from your Azure AD, 30 days after that account is deleted, it's known as a soft delete, it will actually then hard delete it in your web app. So just in case someone accidentally deletes account, you can re-enable it within 30 days and they're not going to be deprovisioned from all their apps. That's actually not configurable right now, so unfortunately we can't make that quicker, but that's just the standard Azure AD soft delete process.